It's your smell. What the bird is barbecuing.
G'day jabronis, it is the Verd here. This is a really rushed little team builder portion because I realised I was about to upload the week 5 match against the Staraptors and then saw that I forgot to record my team builder. So this is basically going to be a quick rundown of the team that I brought for my matchup against Jolt and the Toronto Staraptors. Basically the Beedrill set was designed to be the main superior check. Leaf Storm does nothing, +2 HP fire from Surf does like 60%, so I could take it on and deal with it quite nicely. U-turn plus Pursuit was really clutch in this matchup because Pursuit would let me trap and kill things like the Rachi and other things, and Tailwind was kind of a last resort move if I needed it. Kind of handy for potentially like if you know that something like Tarak is going to kill you, then you just Tailwind up, let him kill you, and then other mons can outspeed. I don't really care if he turns down. Fine. Next up we had Wolfman Starmie. Decided to make it Creep Terrakion. In hindsight, I should have made it Creep Surf, but we'll hear about it later. Had the Coldberry just because I had Analytics, so it meant that if Doom came in, I could take any hit from Doom and then fire off a Scald and basically knock it out with the Analytic boost. That was kind of the premise of it all. And also, it was like, if I wasn't bringing Umbreon, it was one of my main Doom checks, so yeah, it was that. Had a semi kind of bulky Arcanine designed to take on as many things as possible, but also designed to Fire Spin and Trap the Rotom Wash and the Swampert. Basically was able to trap both of them in, fire off a Power Herb Solar Beam and knock them out, so that was kind of the premise of it all, but also be able to take hits from like Surf and Rachi especially. Banned Zygarde because it literally murked his entire team. Arrows plus Waves because Arrows allowed me to hit Rotom plus Cromat, and then Waves allowed me to trap in mons that would try and double out, predicting when my mons to come in. So it would allow me to take advantage of the situation. Scarf Cart, pretty straightforward, be creeping Tarak. Night Slash on there just because it covered, just covered Rachi. Like Sacred Sword would have done a decent amount to it, but Night Slash just made sense to hit it up. And then finally we had Nihilego Black Sludge, very defensively bulky, basically designed to be able to take hits from Crobat and get up hazards, because my main premise was that since Beedrill, I really wanted to have it as T-Spikes as his last move, not Tailwind. But every time Beedrill came in, like he was always going to go hard Crobat, so I figured it was better running Nihilego because that would force Crobat to switch every time, so I could get hazards up and punish him in that sense. So that was really good, and I have enough special attack on the Nihilego to the point where a max HP hurt will die to Grass Knot. If it comes in after Rocks, I believe, was the calc that I was doing for that. But yeah, that's basically the team, guys. Another thing I just want to point out, you're probably wondering, Verd, where are the promos and all that jazz? And honestly, guys, right now I'm just in a bit of a slump with life in general. Just not being able to find a job right now is a little bit depressing, and other aspects I'm not really going to get into, but it's very frustrating for me right now. I do appreciate the support that you guys give me, but yeah, I'm sorry that there's not a lot of effort, especially with things like the UBC and the PMC and stuff like that. I just don't really have the desire to really commit that much to them right now, which is terrible because I really do like the leagues and the people that are in them. So I'm hoping soon, like my job hunt will be over and I can find something again and it can get me back on track and I can feel a bit happier, but until then, guys, it's feeling a bit flat. But regardless, I am a bit more upbeat in the actual video. Hope you guys do enjoy it. This is a really fun team against Joel. I was feeling pretty confident about it. The only downside with this Starmie set, but we'll kind of see how that turns out. I felt pretty good though. The premise was really nice and the Beedrill set was spicy, so hope you guys enjoy. Yeah? What do we think? Huh? What do we think? I mean, it looks pretty sexy, not gonna lie. This shit is available now on Redbubble. I will probably post a link to it in the description. But g'day, jabronis. Let me get this headset on properly because it's an issue. Hi, as you know, I'm the Verd, coach of the Tampa Frogadiers. We're here for week 5 of the NPL. We're currently 3-1 right now with a +2 differential, so things are looking pretty good for us. We're up against Mama Jolt this week, TCM Jolt, other token minorities, and the Toronto Staraptors. Very tricky matchup, but if you did watch the team builder, you'll know what I'm bringing, what all my plans are, and what not. So he's brought basically everything I was expecting. He didn't bring the Mega Doom, which I thought was a little bit surprising, and he didn't bring Goodra either, or Kofag. All three of those I thought could have been things he could have brought. He just chose Aromatisse over all of them. I expected the other 5. They were definitely mons that I thought would be there, but it's going to be an interesting game. Did I make any major changes to the team? No, I don't believe I did. If you haven't checked out the team builder, go check that out. It won't be in the description because honestly you should have watched it before you watch this game, but regardless, Jolt has a very scary team. I have a solid team. My main plan, looking at lead matchup, was to lead Starmie because if you led Tarak, really good. If you led Pert, really good. If you led Crobat, was fine. If you led Rachi, wasn't too bad. I could kind of scout his set with Scald. If you went into, like, if you still led with Surf, I have B plus Arcanine. If you led Aromatisse, I got B Leg. So I got options for everything, so we're going to jump right into this game. So he leads Rachi, I lead Starmie. I fire off Psych. I don't. I decided to double into Arcanine because in that situation I could have fired off a Scald, but I saw the opportunity here for if he went for even a status move, this would give me the opportunity to scout like what he was going to do on this turn. Because obviously Jolt doesn't want to stay in with his Jirachi against the Arcanine. I can take the Toxic just fine because I figured this was the awesome opportunity to Fire Spin. If he goes into Pert and it's not Rindo Berry, it's going to drop to Fire Spin plus the Power Herb Solar Beam, and that's going to be gone, and that's awesome. And if he goes into Tarak, then Tarak's trapped in. I can kind of go into Starmie and kind of gauge what kind of move he wants to go for, or maybe go into, you know, Zygarde or Kartana. I got plays around that. So I was like, this is really good. As long as we hit this Fire Spin, we'll be fine. So it's all good. And we miss. Now, I'm not going to go into this too much in the game, but what I will say is, watch how this battle unfolds while Swampert is alive, and we'll see how much damage, because Jolt is not Rindo Berry, which means if that Fire Spin, which is 85% accurate, had connected on the Swampert, it would have been trapped in, it would have died to Power Herb Solar Beam, and we would have been in a really strong spot. Now, obviously, because I missed and because I went for Fire Spin, it now screams to Jolt that I am Power Herb Solar Beam, so I'm going to go doubling out into my Starmie here as he goes out into Crobat, which is fine by me. What I can do here is fire off, I believe, Scald, because it was analytic boosted, and I get the burn on Rachi. Now, you might think, oh, but the burn totally makes up for the Fire Spin miss. It really doesn't. Like, if you think for a second that burn on Jirachi makes up for the Fire Spin miss, like, you're gravely mistaken. But regardless, Rachi is burned. The only move I've seen him use so far is Toxic, so I'm kind of curious to stay in here with Starmie and just scout like what he wants to do. But I decided to go out to Zygarde because I figure I didn't think he was going to Toxic on this turn. I figured if he was going to do anything, it might be going for a Thunderbolt or potentially a Wish or potentially Stealth Rock. So I figured going hard Zygarde is really good here because what I can do is fire up 1,000 waves, because his best switch into Zygarde is either the Superior or the Swampert. And if Pert comes in, I can trap it, go into Starmie, cut down. Calm down. Be gone, thought. I can shut down Pert quite easily there, and if he goes into the Superior, I can go hard into my Beedrill or my Arcanine, which is now burned. But because Arcanine's burned, that's going to probably not. It's going to make him not want to go for the potential not Leaf on Glare. So this is really good. This is where, like, Pert being dead. This is the first turn where Pert being dead would have been fantastic, because with Pert being dead, it would have meant that I could have just gone straight for 1,000 waves, and if I trapped in Serp, would have been really nice. Would have got, like, I would have been able to gauge what kind of Serp set it was, whether it had any bulk, whether it didn't or not. I could have pressured a lot more things on his team in the long run, but unfortunately, because Pert didn't die, he's going to be able to go hard out to it now to gauge that I am a banded set with waves. He's going to be able to take that, get all the health back, so I just go straight out to Starmie here. I'm not going to play around. If he goes for Rocks and Rhythm, Rocks wouldn't be an issue at this point, because of the fact that, yeah. I go hard B, I believe, on this turn as he goes out to Terrakion. I assumed Jolt's play there was the fact that he assumed I was going to go into Arcanine. And the other thing was, and this is a massive part of the game, but this, honestly, in my opinion, is bad prep on my part. I'm gonna openly admit that. I think that what happens here was just poor preparation that cost me big time in this game. So my Starmie set is actually designed to speed creep a Terrakion. And because it speed creeps Terrakion, when Superior switched out, it didn't initially say to me, oh, he's Scarfed. What it just said to me was, oh, he's running a max speed Superior, probably to outspeed, or he's running more than enough speed to outspeed maybe like a Kartana. Now this is really bad prep on my part because I didn't want to run max speed Starmie to speed type with Doom because I was running the Culver Berry in case it was there, but what I should have done was at least had enough speed to speed type with Surf or outspeed it so that when Surf switched out, I would have seen straight away like, okay, he switched out first, he is clearly running a Choice Scarf, and it would have helped my play a lot in this matchup. But that was on me, I made that mistake. Sure, the bulk on Starmie is nice, but it really wasn't as big as like being able to scout for the Scarf Surf. So Tarax in against Beedrill. I don't want to Mega Evolve here because there is a chance that he's Scarfed, and if he is Scarfed, I want to go hard out to either Kartana or Zygarde. I choose Kartana because the Fizz Def is a bit better. I can soak up that Stone Edge. So it tells me he's probably like a Jolly set. As he goes out to Crobat, I go for the Smart Stroke just to gauge what kind of Crobat I'm up against, and it's Helmet. And I'm like, great, Helmet really is a very good set in this matchup. But I go into Nihilego, and this was the big thing about this matchup. Crobat is Jolt's only form of hazard removal, and more or less, I would say, hazard set up because of the taunt. Like, I know other things in the team can get taunt, but I feel like Crobat's the best way to shut it down. The main issue I was having in team building was that I wanted to run Toxic Spikes on Mega Beedrill, but every time I set up T-Spikes with Beedrill, he could just go into Crobat, I couldn't do anything against Crobat, Crobat could then just go for the Defog, and it was such a null and void play. But the big thing about Nihilego was, this thing could come in against Crobat all day, and set up hazards against it all day. And if you look at Jolt's team, he didn't really have that much for T-Spikes plus Stealth Rocks. So, my basic plan was just setting up as much as I could on this Crobat, because he should just go out to Rachi or something. And it turns out that Jolt actually had Taunt on this Crobat, but again, like, would you really click Taunt with a Crobat that's designed to check the Kartana and the Beedrill at this point in the game? Of course you wouldn't. So he's going to switch out to Terrakion, and I'm going to get my T-Spike up. Now, on this turn, I wasn't too sure what he was going to go for. I figured potentially what he could do here is go for... I was assuming it was going to be either EQ or Close Combat. They were his best two bets at knocking out Nihilego. Because of the HP stat that it has, Stone Edge would not be able to knock me out. And he was bluffing Choice Scarf really well here. But that T-Spike is up. So my basic premise now was, if I can just pressure other members of his team, then I'll be in a really good spot here. So I go hard out to Starmie. As he goes for Edge, and that does a ton, and I'm like, shit, if he's Scarfed, I'm in danger here, so I go hard out to Zygarde. And he goes for another Edge, and I'm like, okay, maybe he is Scarfed, I did nothing to Zygarde. And in this position, I had a tough choice to make. So he's seen me reveal 1,000 Waves, which means maybe he doesn't think I have arrows on this team, which would be crazy, I know, especially since he has Rotom and stuff. So I was thinking, maybe Jolt will try and be aggressive here, knowing that I'm banded, and he'll go out into Crobat. And then I can just drop 1,000 arrows on him and basically knock that shit straight off the face of the earth. But the thing was, I was in a really good position of power at this point. If this Terrakion was Scarfed, then he obviously has to switch out. And regardless, I can just drop 1,000 arrows on something. If Pert comes in, it's taking the Toxic Spike plus 1,000 arrows, which basically almost puts it in range of another 1,000 arrows. And if Serp comes in, I weaken one of the biggest threats to my team straight up like that. Now, obviously, again, this is another situation in this game, especially where if, you know, Pert wasn't around, it wouldn't be as much of a threat. Like, I could just drop 1,000 arrows, he wouldn't have that many switch-ins. But what Jolt actually reveals here is that he is Z-move to Rack, and he goes for the all-out pummeling, but I put a lot of bulk in this Zygarde to be able to deal with that, and 1,000 arrows knocks out Terrakion. That is massive in this game. He goes Bat, but him losing to Rack is huge. That was easily, alongside Superior, his best break on his team. One of them's down. I'm like, shit, we're in a really good spot here. It should be 4-6, but you know what? It's okay. Like, we got rid of Terrakion. We are back on track. And I wanted to preserve Zygarde for as much as possible. You'll see later on that preserving Zygarde is a bit of a meme, the fact that I'm talking about preserving it now, but regardless, I wanted to preserve it on this turn because E-Speed was still nice later game. I could bring it in against like Pert or Rover T, stuff like that, and be able to drop massive nukes on him with the Banded Power. So I decided to go hard out to Nihilego because the thing is, he might just go for Defog, he might just go for Brave Bird, try and knock me out. He goes for BB, it does nothing, and I'm Black Sludge. So this is perfectly fine. He's going to go out to his Rachi, and I'm going to get up my Stealth Rocks, and I'm like, this is perfect. It's a burned Rachi, so if he has Iron Head, it's not going to do shit to me. But I'm going to go out to my Arcanine here. Because he goes for the Wish, and at this point, I was like tossing up what play I wanted to make. Because obviously Arcanine could go for the Fire Spin here, and trap something, but I felt that Jolt's best play then, if he knew Fire Spin was coming, would be maybe to go out to Crobat. So I decide to make a hard read and go into my Nihilego, predicting that. Because now, from what I've seen, he's had like amble turns if he needed to. Like with Crobat, he couldn't risk doing it against Zygarde. But against Nihilego, if he needed to, he could have defaulted. He chose to go to Rachi. So I'm like, this guy does not have default on Crobat. And because he didn't taunt me, I can now get up my second wave of T-Spikes. Why this is massive as well? Actually, no, I'll go for Power Gem for some reason. Oh, I think it was just because I assumed that was the turn he was going to default, because I wanted to punish him. But since he switched out again, I was like, I'm setting up another one. He has no way to remove this. And why this is massive, guys, is because this entire time with this exchange, after Terrakion died, only Rachi and Crobat have been coming in. This means now that Superior, Swampert, and Aromatisse are all coming in on badly poisoned Toxic Spikes, and that is massive in this game. We have the Rachi weakened, we are getting through the Crobat, because Nihilego just walls that shit. But on this turn, because I'm seeing that Rachi's done a fair chunk to be there, I'm actually going to make a play into Starmie, because I know he's probably going to drop a Psychic again, and what I want to do here, though, is kind of scout, because we've seen Wish, Toxic, and Psychic so far on this Rachi set, and I figured the last move that it has is maybe like Icy Wind or something for Zygarde. So what I do here is I go out to Beedrill, because Beedrill's a pretty good scout in this situation, and he unfortunately gets a crit on me. Now you might be thinking, Verd, it's a crit on this Beedrill, did 34%. How on earth does that matter? Well, I was able to calc that he basically has no special attack in his Rachi from the attacks he's been doing, and that crit now, guys, means that my Beedrill couldn't Pursuit Trap this Jirachi. Now you might also be thinking, Verd, what's the point of the Pursuit Trap here? I don't really understand how that's that pivotal in the game. It is incredibly pivotal because Jolt has no reason to sack his Jirachi. He has no reason to sack his Jirachi when it still is coming in against the Nihilego and still able to take it on, because I haven't revealed like my last move, which is the Grass Knot for that Pert if I needed to use it. And the reason why this is massive too is because without that crit, I could have clicked Pursuit, and even if he had gone for Psychic, it wouldn't have killed me, which means I would have been able to kill off this Rotom. Now granted, as you see, his Superior has something to say about that issue, but at the same time, although Superior is still at large, if he decided to go in at this point after I'd killed Rachi, I have a Banded E-Speed Zygarde, as well as Fire Spin on Arcanine. Granted, like, obviously Fire Spin could miss again, I could just go for my Power Herb Solar Beam if required to, and knock that thing out. So this was massive, because of course Jolt's going to switch. Like, of course he's going to switch. And, like, it's really frustrating, because I had to click U-turn there, and the Pert reveals Rocky Helmet. So I wouldn't have had to take that Rocky Helmet damage, or that crit damage, on that situation. Pert should have been dead. Rachi should have been dead. So, unfortunately, this is throwing the game a little bit out of balance, and Beedrill's taken far more damage than it needed to in this situation. But Pert has come in, and I see a big opportunity, obviously, to take advantage. I go into Starmie, because on this turn, I can just go straight for the Recover, and Jolt is basically just going to put me in a bit of a sticky situation. He's basically going to say, you can keep on trying to do this, and I'm going to punish you with Rock. So I decide, you know what? Stuff it. I'm going to Recover, get myself back into full health, because I know that you're probably going to go into Superior here. Now, I had a tough choice to make. So, here's again where the problem lies. Alright? So my Beedrill right now is chilling at 49.4% health. Now, that was barring the, that was including the crit Thunderbolt, as well as the Rocky Helmet damage from the Pert, which, like, as I said, it didn't really have to take if the Fire Spin had hit. So, really unfortunate. And now this Pert, which should have been dead, has got up Rocks. So that's a problem, because Beedrill can come in against the Superior, but it means that if Serp goes for Leaf Storm and is Scarfed, he'll be able to outspin me again and kill me, and then Arcanine is probably in range too, and I might just get swept. Whereas if the Pert hadn't got up Rocks, Beedrill could come in, take the first Leaf Storm, take the second Leaf Storm as well, and I could just go for Roost and be safe. So, this was really frustrating because I could have easily roosted. If that came in, I didn't care. I had a Nihilego in the back just waiting for it. It was really frustrating these turns, guys, because in just a couple of turns of this game, the entire battle changed. And it was really frustrating to watch. I didn't mean to hit reset. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to fast forward. What was it, like turn 13 we'll go with? I don't know, we'll go with turn 13. Okay, it's definitely more. Next turn. Let's try and just fast forward to the situation we were talking about. I'm so sorry about this. Okay, so here we are. I go into I make a bad play. Okay, I forgot I did this. Okay, made a really silly decision here. So I decided to attack Zygarde in the situation against Superior because when I was looking at the situation, I said to myself, he's probably not a Scarf Surf, because I don't know what made me think that. I was like, oh well, yeah, Surf will just, kill Zygarde with Leaf Storm, then Beedrill can just come in and revenge. Not realizing that it's a Scarf Superior, so if Zygarde dies, then, like, what do I have to stop this thing? What I should have done, 100% was just gone into Beedrill and clicked Roost, because he shouldn't have stayed in with Surf to risk it if he didn't think it would kill, and he could have just gone out to bat on that turn. Then I would have roosted up and been enough health to deal with Surf again in the future, and then Nihilego could have came in, and Yorachi should have been Pursuit Trapped and killed, so then he had no Nihilego switching. I could literally just click Power Gem, fuck up Aromatisse, fuck up Superior, fuck up this Crobat, and be in a really, really good position. So I'll admit, this is probably the one misplay I made in this game. I think, honestly, I played a really good game in this situation, but this was a massive misplay. Should not have sacked Zygarde, should have gone hard Beedrill on this turn, for sure. That was probably the big misplay of the game for me, and you will see it does come to bite me in the ass later on. As I go into Beedrill now, and the funny thing is, this was a roll. I was looking at the card withdrawal afterwards. This Leaf Storm does like 24 to 29%, which is dumb, because Beedrill's bulk's surprisingly good, and he gets scared out by the fact that I could be max HP, max defense. So what I do here is actually click a U-turn, because I can't risk Superior killing me here, and of course it's Rocky Helmet Bat. But what I can do here is go back out to my Starmie, and I can get off my free Spin as he Brave Birds. So I can take the Brave Bird just fine. The problem is when I go for Spin, that puts me in Rocky Helmet range. So that was, I figured he may go for Taunt there to shut that down, but he didn't. He just now goes for Brave Bird on my Nihilego, but obviously because I'm so fat, I can take that. As he goes for the Roost, I can just drop a Power Gem, and as you're going to see, it still does a ton to this Crobat. It's not going to be able to really 1v1 me in this situation, so he goes back out to Rachi. As I drop another Power Gem, I'm just trying to weaken this Rachi as best that I can. Now, on this turn, I make a bit of a strange play, but in my mind, it made, I guess, a bit more sense, potentially. My play on this turn, I believe, I think, yeah, this is the turn. I believe on this turn I click, I go hard into Beedrill. Now, this may seem like a pretty dumb play. What I should have done, guys, probably 100% was gone into Starmie. We'd seen the T-Bolt, but there was no reason for him to click T-Bolt this turn. And by going Starmie, I could take the Psychic and then just drop a Scald on him. Now, he had no reason to go out to Surf and let it get even more weakened. He had no real reason to go out to Aromatisse or Crobat, so it would have been pretty safe on that turn to do that, but I chose not to, which was bad of me. I go out to Beedrill, and the reason why I did that was because on the off chance that he tried to go for a Wish play. I don't know why I thought he'd go for a Wish play, so again, that was just a really bad play on my part. I don't know why. At this point, I was pretty tilted, guys. I'm not going to lie. Not being able to kill Kurt early game and allowing Rocks to get back up and weaken my Beedrill to this state, when it should have been at almost basically full health, the way this game was playing out. And also then, the crit on Beedrill sucked, because this Rachi should have been dead, so it shouldn't have been able to Psychic and kill me, but that happens. But then I was thinking, like, okay, I gotta set myself up for a point where I can win this game, and that's why I wanted to do these plays though, because I was looking at the situation, I saw Bat's health, and I knew that at this point Kartana almost had game. The thing I didn't realize was that he was a Scarf Surf, right? So I was just assuming Kartana's got this. So I go into Kartana, and I believe I click Night Slash on this turn, because I know that it knocks out Bat. 100%, and it knocks out Rachi. Two things I just want to get killed, as he is going to go out to Aromatisse. And I really wanted to go for Night Slash, but it's much safer for me to just go into my Arcanine. This is a misplay again, though. this is such a misplay again. I should have gone hard out to Nihilego, right? Reason for that is because if this is a Trick Room Aromatisse, then my way of playing around Trick Room Aromatisse in this matchup is preserving Arcanine at as much health as possible, because Arcanine beats Jirachi plus Superior. It just does, okay? Because I have Morning Sun, it beats them both. I can wear them down. I should have gone into Nihilego instead, because even if he Trick Room, and even if he Psyshocked, I mean, there may have been a chance I could live it because of the defense investment I had in Nihilego, but also, what I could have done is maybe gone, like, hard into Starmie, predicting the Psyshock, then hard back into Nihilego if Psyshock didn't kill me, and I could have worn it down with these toxic turns until Trick Room wore out, gone back into Kartana, and then just put Smart Strike. Because then Aromatisse would have died, then Jirachi would have died, and if it wasn't Scarf Surf, it was dead, and if it was Scarf Surf, it had to go for HP Fire, and then if I still had my Arcanine healthy in the back, I could just click my Fire Spin, kill the Rachi coming in, and then Superior's HP Ground could not do enough. So this again was just... I was really on tilt after that bit of hacks, and I as much as I said I thought I played this game really well, these last few turns, guys, I made some horrible, horrible plays, and it was very frustrating. As he does Trick Room, and I realize that I'm in a very bad situation, because he can Bolt, and I can go for Morning Sun. This turn, this was massive, okay? What I should have realized on this turn was, Arcanine's important here. On the off chance that he's Scarf Superior, and, you know, Rachi's a thing, I need to preserve this thing as much health as possible. Just, like, go into freaking... My actual play that I was thinking of was, I should just go into Kartana. Because I was thinking about the Kartana sweep the entire time, and why that was dumb was because if you look at this matchup right now, Kartana doesn't need to do that much. I could just go into Kartana here, take either the Thunderbolt he's going to go for again, or the potential Psyshock he's about to drop on me. I can take either of those hits. That wastes a Trick Room turn. I can then go hard out to Nihilego, because he's going to go for a special attacking move. Then, I can either go hard out to my Starmie or something else as a sack, and then I can get in my Kartana, outside of Trick Room, keep my Arcanine at 85% health, kill something off. If Superior comes in and kills me, Arcanine comes in and revenges it, or he goes out into Jirachi, and I'm just... It's fine, because I have either the Nihilego that can outspeed and kill with Power Gem, I have the Starmie that can outspeed and kill with Scald, or I have the Kartana. Like, I can sack one of those three, and two of those three can still kill Jirachi. So, I make the dumb play here of basically sacking off my Arcanine. I Fire Spin, I get a crit hit. Really didn't matter, since it was going to be dying to Toxic, but I realize now that that was just dumb, because my Arcanine's now too weak. If I had maybe preserved it here, I could have had a chance, but I don't. I decide to go for Morning Sun. It is going to be able to die to the Toxic Spike, so another kill for Nihilego. But at this range... okay, this was also... This turn, man. This turn was stupid. I decided on this turn to Fire Spin kill Jirachi, because I knew I outsped it, and in the back of my mind I was saying to myself, well, I outspeed Superior with Kartana, and judging on the damage stuff that I've done, I can just go for Smart Strike. If he's not Scarf, we win, it's great. In the back of my mind, I should have just been covering that potential chance of it being Scarf, and if it was Scarf, Arcanine at the range of health that it's at now can take a +2 Leaf Storm. So what I should have done here, 100%, was gone hard Starmie. Because if Rachi goes for Psychic, Starmie can live that. And if Starmie can live that, then Starmie can just kill off Rachi next turn with a Scald. And if he does Thunderbolt and kill me, it's fine, because Rachi is now in range of Kartana's Smart Strike. Or I could just click Night Slash, because that fucks up Surf anyway at +1. I could click that, Surf is then forced into HP Fire, and I have a Nihilego and an Arcanine still around. So, in what I'm saying, guys, is that I pretty much choked this game. The hacks did suck. Like, obviously that threw my game a lot. Psychologically, it affected me. I'm not going to beat around the bush. But, at the same time, I let you guys down. As you can see here quite clearly, there's an obvious play for me to make. And you might be thinking, oh, Verd, but what if he goes for Wish with Jirachi? So what? So what if he goes for Wish with Jirachi, right? And he passes out to his Superior. If he does that play, Arcanine can still come back in, and Superior can either go for the potential Leaf Storm if it wants to. It won't be able to kill. I can go for my Fire Spin and be fine. So that was the thing in my head though. I was like, okay, what if Rachi goes for Wish on this turn? What is my play? My play, if I go back into my Starmie there, my play, if Superior is coming in, is to click Psyshock. Because if Rachi stays in, it's fine. I have seen that this item is leftovers, so even if Rachi 1v1s my Starmie, all I have to do is leave Rachi in range of my Kartana. I can click Night Slash, the same plays go off. If he wishes up, then all I do is click Psyshock. That means that Superior on that turn gets put into range where it can't just simply run through my team. I click Fire Spin once, it's dead, and it's fine, and we're all good. And of course, as I told you, that doesn't happen. I click Fire Spin, and the reason I do this is because, as I said, I was under the impression it was not a Scarf Superior, and Jolt's going to do something that I wish I could have done with semi-accurate moves. He's going to hit every single one of them. I sent in Starmie to sack here because Nihilego couldn't take the hit, and now Superior was in range of Kartana's Smart Strike, 100%. And I was like, sweet, game over, it's been fun. And if I'd ran the speed on Starmie, I would have seen earlier that this was a Scarf Superior. And if I'd known it was a Scarf Superior, you best believe I would have played better around this. So that was bad prep on my part, and at the end, it was bad battling. The hacks did factor into that bad battling, but at the same time, it came down to my decision making. And in the all honesty of it, guys, I made the wrong decisions. I sacked Zygarde, where Banded E-Speed here would have been clutch, would have killed this thing pretty much, or it would have died to Toxic, killing me. So that was a terrible play as well. I made a lot of bad plays in this game, guys. I'm not going to try and act like I didn't. And I'm not going to try and act like Jolt didn't deserve to win, because what Jolt did is something that I commend in a lot of players. He took advantage of a situation. I couldn't do that. I had control for all of this game. I don't think until this point there was a position where Jolt wasn't in control. And my problem was, though, that I got so affixed on the fact that Scarf Kartana beat Superior no matter what, that I forgot about the most obvious SERP set to counter Scarf Kartana, Scarf Superior. And because of that, we're going to go down. Funnily enough, if I had Protect, I would have won. And also if I dodged that Leaf Storm, I would have won. But of course, I didn't dodge it. And it was really frustrating. It was really frustrating losing that game for, I guess, a couple of reasons. The first one, I guess, being that obviously, yes, the Fire Spin miss sucked. In the grand scheme of the game, it really sucked because Swampert not being around meant my Beedrill wouldn't have taken Stealth Rock damage, that's 25%. It wouldn't have taken Rocky Helmet damage, that's another 16%, so it would have had 41% more health, meaning it would have been at about 50% health just from that. Then there was the Rachi Crit Thunderbolt, so it would have been even healthier. Almost healthy enough to take that Rachi Psychic on that turn when I accidentally, well, I didn't accidentally sack, I sacked it for no reason, but I didn't have to sack it. I sacked Beedrill there because he was so low on health. If I knew Beedrill was healthier, I would have preserved him, because Beedrill at 60% health can take on Superior. It can do it, and he had no more switches. I could just click U-turn. If he went out into Aromatisse, I could just go into Kartana, click Smart Strike, something's dead. And that was really frustrating. Being able to Pursuit Trap the Rachi also would have meant those Mind Game, Play Game wouldn't have happened. Nihilego literally would have just come in against everything and clicked Power Gem. Even if we went into Aromatisse and went for Trick Room, Power Gem does an absolute shit ton to Aromatisse first, and I could wear it down so much easier. I could have preserved so much more stuff. And I guess the last thing that just kind of annoyed me was the fact that I think Jolt hit... he hit at least... Well, he killed 5 of my Mons with Leaf Storms in this game. And, like, that's 5 times that he hit a 90% accurate move. And I hit my Fire Spin 1 out of 2 times. So that was also kind of frustrating that he was able to hit his kind of accurate move and I wasn't able to hit mine. But you know what? That's the game we play, guys. And like I said, at the end of the day, the thing was that I had control of the game. I could have won this game, but my decision making was not correct. I made the wrong decisions in this game, and that meant that I lost. And if that means the analysts want to crucify me again, then by all means, crucify me again for it. I understand that. But at the same time, why I try and explain these turns, guys, is so you can understand where my brain was at. And after all the stuff that had happened in this game, my whole mindset was Scarf Kartana wins, whereas I should be thinking of every single possibility. And yes, losing Beedrill the way I did really did matter, because then it would have meant that Scarf Superior or Leaf Storm was not the only way that he could win. 100% correct. But at the same time, I could have also preserved Arcanine, and that would have been my coverage. So it's one thing to complain hacks about the only reason I lost, but the thing that I take from this game is that without the hacks, definitely would have made it easier to win. Even with the hacks, I believe if I had made the right plays and kept my cool under the pressure, because I was under a lot of pressure in this game, I really wanted to win, and Jolt's a very good player, and it was everybody was watching the game, and I just really wanted to show everybody that I deserved to be here. And it was just really frustrating when those first maybe 20 turns, I think they are some of the best turns I've played at Pokemon. I don't think I put a step wrong. My sets were putting in work, everything was going well, despite the hacks, I was bringing it home, and it's just really frustrating when a couple of turns ruin everything, or you just don't see the big picture. So that's a lesson to you guys out there who are maybe still learning to play, or just enjoy watching my content. These games happen where you go out there trying to do something and it just doesn't work, and you have to pick yourself up off from that. And you know what? Halfway through the season though, for the NPL, we are still 3-2. We have positive differential. We are currently out of the relegation zone, albeit the relegation zone is people that are 2-3 and we're 3-2. But if we keep this up, if our next 5 games we go 3-2 as well, we'll be at 6-4, and that should be enough to let us survive. So my aim is for my next 3 weeks to get those 3 wins, because that will put the monkey off the shoulder, or monkey off the back, whatever it is. It will make things good. So next week we have, well, it was the Portland Timbers and Toe, but now it is Asta J and the Montreal Hapsols. Massive game against a Mega Mawile team. Going to be really, really tough, but guys, if we can get that win, we go to 4-2, then we have Abe, then we have Cheese. If we can win those 2 games, then we're in a really, really good spot. And my aim right now is just to try and win as many games as possible. This has been a huge experience and learning curve for me. So, again, I am sorry that the result didn't come out the way that you Frogadiers fans wanted to. Trust me, I am the most disappointed in this result. But, credit to Joel. He did what he had to do to win, and I can honestly respect that. Hacks aside, it was a very enjoyable first game against Joel, and I look forward to playing him many more times in the future. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Tampa Frogadiers are now 3-2 with a +1 differential. No more transactions being made, don't worry. The team is staying the same for as long as I can make it stay the same. But next week, like I said, the Montreal Habsols and Asta J. Hopefully we can get the result. Hopefully we don't take too much of a hit this week in the power rankings. It was a very close game, but regardless, my name's The Bird. Go get the Tampa Bay Frogadiers merch off of Redbubble, and I'm out.